Now with a look at the White House as a new administration begins. Good night from Washington.
The defining moments of President Trump's inauguration.
With behind-the-scenes insights from our team. And analysis on America's road ahead. CBS Mornings tomorrow.
Dangerous wind chills for Tuesday, but they will moderate to a little more tolerable levels for the rest of the week. More weather details at 11.
Plus, former President Biden pardoned several of his family members as one of his last acts as Commander-in-Chief. And it's also Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We'll hear about the legacy the civil rights leader has left behind and how he helped change America. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
Bitter to extreme cold in the Marquette area. We won't get above zero for Tuesday. Wind chills will be down as cold as -30 to -35 at times. Some spots might even be colder. Good news is we should see a decent amount of sunshine. Again, lake effect will move out over the lake during the day. So most of you will see the sun with this bitter to extreme colds and some dangerous wind chills as well. We'll talk about it more later in the show. Kevin, back to you.
Tom, thank you. President Donald Trump took the oath of office at 12:01 p.m. Eastern Time and wasted little time in getting to work with executive actions. But he is also taking time to celebrate the inauguration with supporters. Natalie Brand is in Washington, D.C. with more details on the new President's Day.
So help me God. So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. President.
Donald J. Trump took the oath as the nation's 47th president, then laid out his vision for a second term.
The golden age of America begins right now.
President Trump detailed his priorities during a 30-minute inaugural address.
Today I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense.
Many of Trump's some 200 executive actions undo former President Biden's policies, who departed the Capitol after the peaceful transfer of power. President Trump signed some actions in front of supporters packed into Washington's Capital One Arena.
The first item that President Trump is signing is the rescission of 78 Biden-era executive actions, executive orders, presidential memoranda, and others.
Trump plans to sign pardons for some January 6th defendants.
As soon as I leave, I'm going to the Oval Office and we'll be signing pardons for a lot of people,
Many traveled from out of state to be here for this moment.
We're huge supporters of Trump, and he's done a lot for us. And so this is the least I could do.
While the move indoors because of the extreme cold brought changes to the day, a raucous campaign atmosphere filled the arena celebrating President Trump's return.
Following the festivities inside the arena, the president did sign more executive actions at the White House, commuting the sentences for 6 January 6 defendants who were convicted or pleaded guilty to seditious conspiracy. He issued pardons to about 1,600 others charged with attacking the Capitol. Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin told WZMQ she has been in Congress during Trump's first presidency. Following his address, she believes there are ways she can work with the new administration to benefit Michigan.
I've learned, he may say things, but wait till see the details, right? I want to see what he actually does. And that's just, good stewardship. But I think the areas of overlap where I do see potential promises, he talked about the auto industry. Well, we're from Michigan, so the success of the auto industry is deeply connected to the success of our state. So I want to work with him on that. And then China, right? I'm someone who's a national security person by training. I think competition with China is the big national security issue of the next decade. So I'm hoping we can work together on those issues.
As one of the final actions in his presidency, President Joe Biden issued preemptive pardons for a handful of people that could be potentially targeted by the new administration. Some of those pardons included General Mark Milley, the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff in Trump's first term, Dr. Anthony Fauci, who was one of the government's top scientists during the COVID pandemic, and all congressional members of the bipartisan House Committee investigating the January 6th U.S. Capitol attack. Biden also issued a few pardons to his family and their spouses. These preemptive pardons essentially come to a protective measure for these people who could be political targets. It's typical for an outgoing president to give clemency at the end of their term, but usually it's for people who have been convicted of crimes. Remembering the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. goes hand in hand with remembering and recognizing the civil rights movement. WZMQ's Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon shows us how a recently installed exhibit at the National Cathedral in Washington is literally shedding light on the history of the civil rights movement and the fight for racial justice.
Inside this well-renowned place of worship, thousands of pieces of dark-colored stained glass tell a story and provide an ambience unlike any other.
It was sort of the style of the time.
But some windows stand out more than the others.
And these ones definitely different. They stand out. And what's interesting is if you're walking down, you can just see this sort of glow emanating from this bay. So they kind of call attention.
The now and forever windows were designed by acclaimed artist Kerry James Marshall and dedicated in September 2023. They replaced a pair of twin windows that honored Confederate generals Robert E. Lee and Thomas Stonewall Jackson, which were installed in 1953.
The cathedral needed money to build the building, and the Daughters of the Confederacy needed a place to memorialize their story.
Spokesman for the National Cathedral, Kevin Ekstrom, says the now and forever windows symbolize the ongoing work toward racial justice and tell a more inclusive history of the United States.
What we wanted to replace these with was a new story, a story that hadn't been told here before, a story that was more inclusive and had a broader lens of American history.
A story that delivers a similar message to the words of the late Martin Luther King Jr. But a similar message is not the only connection between this stained glass and Dr. King. These windows shine into the very pews where hundreds gathered on March 31st, 1968 to hear what would be King's final Sunday sermon.
Here in that pulpit right over there,
mankind must put an end to war.
And we hold that legacy very close.
Like King, the now and forever windows also leave a legacy. Each piece of glass and every last detail.
And that was intentional so that it looked like shadow to give it some depth.
Living up to its intended purpose, using a bright glow to call attention and start a conversation.
These windows are a very permanent reminder that the work is never actually done. It's always ongoing. Everybody has a role.
Reporting in Washington, Brendan Scanlon, WZMQ 19 News.
As we celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, one Washington, D.C. based restaurant became a spot Dr. King would dine at often. The 92-year-old owner shares with our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp the memories and moments she has of the late civil rights activist.
When Virginia Ali and her late husband Ben opened Ben's Chili Bowl in Washington, D.C., it was in a segregated black community.
And this street out here was called Black Broadway because it was kind of the entertainment center.
But if you were to ask her what she does for work, she would tell you she's in the people business.
It's been a remarkable experience for me because I love people. This little place has given me the privilege of serving people from all walks of life.
Ben's Chili Bowl is a local favorite in D.C. Her establishment has been featured on TV shows and has served presidents, judges, celebrities, and those who need it the most.
My dad taught me when I was a little girl, when you treat people the way you want to be treated, you will never have a problem.
And on one day in 1963,
you look up and there's Dr. Martin Luther King coming in the door.
Ali says he dined at her restaurant several times.
And I remember one conversation we had in particular. He told me, he said, you know, I had an appointment with President Kennedy. And he told President Kennedy that he was going to bring a large number of people here to protest the injustices of black people.
That rally would become one of the most historic moments in the civil rights movement.
I have a dream.
Dr. King meant so much to us. You know, he had that spirit of wanting to help everybody. And, you know, he was a man of dignity, a man proud and that soft-spoken, and just a pleasure to be around.
She remembers the shock she felt learning about his death.
5 years after that march, someone runs in that door and said, Dr. King's been shot. Well, we can't possibly believe that. Not our wonderful, calm, wonderful, peaceful, non-violent leader. There can't be. And then people were coming in here in tears, crying openly.
Following Dr. King's assassination, riots broke out in D.C. A curfew was enacted, but Ollie says her restaurant was the only place allowed to stay open past curfew.
Those 3 nights were the hardest nights ever. You know, just hearing glass breaking, seeing fires outside was very, very disturbing.
The death of the civil rights leader was painful. The people that sought comfort at her restaurant during those tough times continue to show their gratitude for the community Allie made at her establishment.
I'm just grateful to the people for the support that they've given me.
In Washington, D.C., Rachel Knapp, WZMQ 19 News.
Tom DeVecchio has your first warning weather forecast when we come back. Plus, past due medical bills will no longer affect your credit score. We'll hear about the new rules. And in Escanaba Business is looking to help the community stick to their New Year's health resolutions. We'll hear how they're trying to help when we come back.
John's Auto has been voted the #1 dealer to buy pre-owned vehicle for longer than I've been alive. If you're looking for a vehicle, or if you're looking for someone to help with your current car, or if you need to get yours looking like new again, come see us at John's Auto Sales and Service, Marquette.
Buckle's Party Store. It's where the party starts in Calumet with an awesome beer selection featuring domestic, foreign, and craft brew beer, a great selection of wine, just about any kind of liquor you want, and a great range of tobacco products. Buckle's Party Store in Calumet. It's where the party starts for everyone.
New tonight.
Let's take a look at Trump's official inaugural portrait.
Colbert's all new post-inauguration. CBS tonight.
New year, new looks, new comforts, new you. Reset your home at the New Year's sale at Slumberland Furniture. You'll get up to 50% off list prices. Buy this sofa for just $697 and you'll get the chair free. Or this sectional with lots of seating for just $795. A comfy reclining sofa for just $555. Get a Sealy Queen mattress starting at $149. And a 365-night sleep guarantee. The New Year's sale at Slumberland Furniture.
Give your home a fresh new look with our energy-efficient windows and stylish doors. And here's a deal you won't want to miss. For a limited time, when you buy 3 windows or doors, you'll get 1 free. That's right, buy 3, get 1 free. Don't wait. This offer ends February 28th. Call today and start transforming your home with a window store. Quality windows, doors, and unbeatable savings. Only at the Window Store.
Sophia Murphy reports at 6 and 11 on WZMQ 19 News.
Is your parents' car sounding funny? Do you hear any clunks, rattles, squeaks, or leaks? Tell them to call John's Auto Service Department for fast, friendly, and affordable service. Come see us at John's Auto Sales and Service, Marquette.
Now, WZMQ TV 19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Tom DeVecchio.
Headlines here. Cold, bitter to extreme cold will continue right on through midweek. Definitely bottoming out. The coldest of the cold will be on Tuesday itself. And then temperatures will moderate by Wednesday afternoon and may actually hit 20 by the end of the week. Imagine looking forward to 20-degree highs. In the meantime, though, the threat of frostbite is pretty good for Tuesday, as the average wind chill in Marquette will be a little below -20, occasionally getting to -30 or -35. With that, you could get frostbite in as little as a minute if it gets below -30. So if you don't have to go outside tomorrow, stay indoors, let the temperatures moderate. You can see wind chills, while still very cold, are moderating nicely as we head on toward the rest of the week. And for the kids, if they are going to school with these cold temperatures, this is when you really need to bundle them up. Cover as much of their skin as possible. Maybe take them to school perhaps just for the day if school is in session. So don't expect temperatures really to get above 0. But on the good side, there's not much in the way of precipitation as the lake effect slides north as we head on through the balance of tonight into Tuesday with a decent amount of sunshine here. But again, very cold temps. Another weather system, though, brings some light snow for Wednesday and into Wednesday night. With the winds you can see going pretty good. Then gradually they do taper off for Tuesday night and into Wednesday. The southerly winds will help boost the highs and lower the chances of dangerous wind chills. Though we're still going to get below 30, minus 30, excuse me, for much of Tuesday. Again, that's extreme cold to dangerous cold. And as I mentioned, frostbite could occur just a minute or two, so we don't recommend going outside here as hardy as you are with that cold air. Wednesday, you can see wind chills drop into the minus teens. Still extremely cold, but at least a little more tolerable. Not much snow for tonight into Tuesday, as you can see. Still decent amounts along the western shores of Lake Superior and out toward Newberry. Could see a decent amount of snow as well. Marquette, though, you'll get very little. You can see tonight's lows, everyone well below 0 to minus 22 at Iron River, minus 5 for a high there tomorrow. Marquette will try to get to the goose egg here, but the wind chills will stay averaging around minus 20, occasionally getting to minus 30 to minus 35. Into the teens on Wednesday. We hit 20 on Friday. You can see, not too bad. Maybe an inch or two of snow on Wednesday. And we'll keep partly cloudy skies and a little more tolerable temperatures for the upcoming weekend.
Tom, thanks very much. A new rule announced earlier this month may increase your credit score. Our John Truitt looks at the new rule that eliminates most unpaid medical bills from your credit report.
More than 40% of American adults say they are in debt due to medical or dental bills. That's more than 15 million Americans living with unpaid medical debt that's reflected in their credit scores. A new rule by the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau will prevent the 3 credit reporting agencies from including past due medical bills in credit reports. Allie Prim, Vice President of Mortgage Lending at the UP State Bank, believes this new rule will benefit many of her clients.
Well, I think it can certainly be impactful to a lot of people that may have medical debt that's blemishing their credit and reducing their credit scores.
The CFPB predicts that over 15 million Americans will see their credit score rise by as much as 20 points, an increase that could make all the difference for would-be homeowners.
I think that those individuals who have otherwise impeccable credit are definitely going to have doors open for them because the debt load isn't considered.
Prim believes this new rule will allow millions of people to qualify for loans and mortgages that would be otherwise out of reach.
Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac do have minimum credit score requirements for some of their loan programs, so this could mean that more people could potentially qualify for those programs.
If you are unsure what your credit score is or if you've been turned down previously, Prim suggests talking to a loan specialist.
A lot of people are frightened to go into a bank and apply for a loan or a mortgage, but there's really nothing to be frightened about.
Prim says your credit score is just one of many factors that impact qualifying for a loan. Getting pre-approved is a good place to start. In Marquette, John Truitt, WZMQ 19 News.
We're just a few weeks into January, and hopefully most of us haven't given up on our resolutions just yet. Our Lily Simmons spoke with an Escanaba business helping customers make healthier choices in the new year and beyond.
At Healthway Nutrition Store, it's all about healthy alternatives for everyday items.
For people who want to change their lifestyle, eating habits, whatever they want to change, we have natural cleaning products, body products, supplements, organic food.
Manager Paula Sturm says her most popular products are foods and ingredients that are safe for those with allergies or restrictions.
A lot of people who have a family member who are gluten-free, they will change their diet to coincide with their family member who has that allergy.
Which can prove to be a positive change for the whole family.
They learn to take a recipe and you can change the ingredients to make it more of a healthier version. Change your ways of doing it with them so they don't feel left out.
She says many people are also looking to switch up the ingredients in their personal care products.
There's a lot of chemicals in shampoos and deodorants and stuff and toothpaste. A lot of people will go with the fluoride-free, paraben, sodium lauryl sulfates-free.
For a quick fix, many of us head to the drugstore, but Healthway Nutrition Store stocks a wide selection of natural options that Sturm says can do the job.
Bulk teas, box teas for natural cold and flu remedy. My top thing right now is calming, anxiety, stress. With everything that's going on in this world today, supplements, drinks that have added like ashwagandha to it.
She says making small changes is the key to helping those New Year's resolutions stick around long after January ends.
I encourage people to start out slow because a lot of people will come in here with a big long list of New Year's resolutions. Doing a complete change around is hard on people. Introducing little by little is what works.
Lily Simmons, WZMQ 19 News, Escanaba.
Still to come on your 19 News, we hear what to keep in mind when shopping for tires and how you can keep your car running in these cold temperatures. We're back in 2 minutes.
It's time to clear out the showroom for Kirkish Furniture's January clearance sale. Find year-end savings in every department all month long. Furniture, mattresses, appliances, and flooring. Shop Kirkish Furniture's January clearance sale while supplies last.
New tonight.
Let's take a look at Trump's official inaugural portrait.
Ah! Colbert's all new post-inauguration. CBS Tonight.
To catch him, they'll use every trick in the book.
Top investigators and police use the latest forensic science to uncover the truth and solve real cases. The devil is always in the details. Forensic Factor.
It's Shunk's big winter sale. It's that time of year when you spend more time on your sofa, more time on your recliner, and more time in bed. During Shunk's big winter sale, you'll save on the furniture you need. And there's big savings on quality Amish dining room too. Have it built the way you want it, or save even more on floor sample closeouts. And mattresses from Serta, Sealy, Tempur-Pedic, and Stearns & Foster. The selection and discounts have never been greater. Shop Shunk's big winter sale at both locations for big discounts. Shop Shunk's Marquette today.
Help! When you fall and can't get help, help! You will lie on the floor for hours or days in constant, terrible anguish. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-998-6449. That's 1-800-998-6449.
She's inquisitive.
What led to this young lady finding you in this compromising situation?
And firm.
The only thing that matters in this particular courtroom, sir, is how I see it.
Watch Equal Justice with Judge Ebony K. Williams.
Weekdays on WZMQ CBS. You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with Kevin Hodge.
Welcome back, everyone. You probably don't think about the tires on your car very often, but choosing the right set is important to making sure your vehicle performs correctly and remains safe. Skylar Henry found out which tires the experts are choosing.
Every year, Consumer Reports tests hundreds of tires in all types of conditions to find which perform the best.
So we test them for everything from their dry and wet braking abilities to snow traction to how long they'll last.
Ryan Pizolkowski is Consumer Reports Tire Program Manager and says for cars and small SUVs, the Michelin Defender 2 gets the highest overall score. The tire received high marks for braking, hydroplaning resistance, noise, and has a tread life of 100,000 miles.
Those are the things that should mean something to you because they could prevent you from getting in an accident.
2 other Michelins received the highest ratings for mid-sized SUVs and sports cars. And when it comes to trucks, the Continental Terrain Contact HT takes the top spot.
Continental always finds itself at the top or right below, especially with their truck products.
And no matter what tire you choose, it's important to keep them properly maintained. Experts say you should rotate the tires on a regular basis and check the pressure every month. A tire with Too much air can wear out the tread in the middle. Too little can damage the outside tread, and both can increase the risk of an accident.
The tires, I would argue, is one of the most important parts of the vehicle system. So making sure that they are in tip-top shape is radically important.
That includes checking the tread length. Bizalkowski says you can stick a quarter in the tread. If you see the top of Washington's head, it's time to start shopping for new tires.
Slick spots on the road aren't the only concerns for drivers. Temperatures alone can cause problems for a car before even leaving the driveway. Here are some tips on how to keep your car running.
On the south side of Oklahoma City, Carlos Ramirez and the Mechanic Bulldogs are helping customers keep their cars running through the winter. He sees a lot of common issues.
If you feel any unusual movement on your vehicle that's not currently an everyday thing, as well your batteries. Sometimes the crank is not starting because of cold weather.
Replacing a battery can typically be done on your own. Ramirez says a strong battery is essential and often one of the most frequent reasons a car won't start in cold weather.
Usually the battery of the vehicle, it's on the side of the vehicle, on the front. Some vehicles have it in the back, especially for more modern vehicles, they have it in the back. Like Chryslers, right? And BMWs and Genesis. But these vehicles has it in the front, either on the right or on the left side.
He says tires are another part of the car that requires attention, keeping them inflated in the cold and making sure drivers have enough traction in slick conditions.
So this tread gauge, when it's red, needs replacement. When it's yellow, it's still good for a couple of miles, but you're getting there to that red. And when it's green, you know you have a good tire.
His pieces of advice he hopes keep Oklahomans getting where they need to go.
We missed him for our 6 o'clock show, but never fear, the great Jim Koski is here with another edition of Life in the 906. Jim, take it away, my friend.
Well, you know, Kevin, it seems like our world has been turned upside down the past few days. TikTok temporarily disappeared. There's a new administration in Washington, and despite the fact that it's 200 below zero outside, there's so little snow in parts of the UP that the Nickamenon was canceled. So in a world of chaos, I guess it's nice to know there's one thing we can still count on: the Detroit Lions. The Lions did the most Detroit Lions thing ever Saturday night when they lost their opening playoff game to Washington. I mean, yes, I know the Lions defense was banged up, and yes, I know Jaden Daniels looked like a combination of Dan Marino, The Rock, and the Greek god Hermes. But still, this was supposed to be the year the Lions were something. This was supposed to be the year they finally broke the curse of Bobby Lane and went to the promised land. While I'm agnostic these days, I was raised a Lions fan, so I do feel the collective pain of Detroit supporters, especially here in the UP, where they have to live alongside Packers fans who get to a decade or so. I mean, since 1957, that's 68. 12% of all people living in the UP, only 1 out of every 9 of us, was even alive the last time the Lions hoisted a trophy. I know this one's going to hurt for a while, and I realize it's not much consolation, but the core of the team is sticking around. The head coach is sticking around, and having gotten so close the past 2 years, maybe the third time will be a charm. We'll see. But if your heart still aches after what happened Saturday night, you can take comfort in 2 things. 1, you're not a Bears fan. And 2, just remember what is by now the official motto of the Detroit Lions: there's always next year. I'm Jim Koski, and that's another slice of Life in the 906. Kevin?
Thanks, Jim, and don't forget to join Jim weekday afternoons on Q107 WMQT. Now don't go away, Tom DeVecchio has your final look at weather when we come back.
How'd it happen?
She showed up dead on arrival.
This never gets easier.
It does when you call CarShield before your car breaks down. Look at these prices. The camshaft, transmission, engine.
Don't people know? A plan through CarShield could protect up to 5,000 parts and systems.
You hate to see it.
An out-of-warranty car is gonna break down eventually.
Right, which is why they need a plan through CarShield.
Best of all, you'll get access to CarShield's concierge service, who can even help you find a mechanic near you.
They're notifying the family.
Poor guy. He doesn't even know what's coming.
Another victim of senselessly expensive repair bills. Can't save them all.
But we can keep trying. Didn't have to end this way. If he'd have just called CarShield before his car broke down.
Exactly.
CarShield has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau and was voted America's most trusted auto protection company. It's time to call CarShield now. Call 800-552-1961.
If you're living with diabetes, this is the sound that could change your life.
Great news for people living with diabetes. Now you can wear a continuous glucose monitor and eliminate routine finger sticks. The days of repeated, painful finger sticks are over.
Just call 800-251-1397.
If you use insulin daily to manage your condition, a continuous glucose monitor could help you control your diabetes and reduce or eliminate those painful finger sticks. If you have Medicare or private insurance, US Med can deliver a CGM system right to your door. And if you qualify, there may be little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurer directly. Call now to get your continuous glucose monitoring system so you can take control of your diabetes and get back to enjoying life.
Just call 800-251-1397. That's 800-251-1397.
The forecast through Wednesday, it's all about the cold, in particular the wind chills. Here are the wind chills as we head on through the balance of the nighttime hours here. And you're seeing a lot of negative -30s, even a -40 out toward Ironwood. These are dangerous wind chills, not just extreme. And once you get below -30, you don't want to fool around. If you don't have to go outside, stay indoors here, even though the snowfall will be minimal, probably some good sun on Tuesday. The temperatures, the wind chills start to moderate into the -teens as we head toward Wednesday, as the high temperatures get into the mid-teens. And we'll keep fairly dry here after Wednesday's inch or two of snow, near 20 on Friday and upper 20s as we head towards Saturday. Kevin, back to you.
Tom, thanks again. Dogs and their owners were invited for a special screening of a canine classic at a Paris cinema on Saturday. The majestic Bastille Independent Art House Cinema in France's capital welcomed 18 dogs with their owners to watch Walt Disney's 1955 animation romantic comedy, Lady and the Tramp. After a bit of sniffing and barking, the dogs of all shapes and sizes settled down in the red seats to watch the movie. Dog owners said they were delighted to be able to share the moments with their animal companions. More dog-friendly screenings are planned in the future with the 1992 movie Beethoven, the story of a St. Bernard who escapes a pet shop and ends up being adopted by a family. And a last bit of news for you. Ohio State has beaten Notre Dame to take the National College Football Championship. That's all we have for now. We'll see you tomorrow at 6/5 Central.
"19 News" is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
Sure, we've got more all-wheel drive vehicles than anyone else. We've also got the five brothers who made their mark on and off the road for over 60 years, like the new